Assalamualaikum students, welcome to another video from UA report 127.0.0.1. Students, in my today lecture I am going to work on a vast juice shop machine from TryHackMe. This room use the juice shop vulnerable web application to learn how to identify and exploit common web application vulnerabilities. So guys, today you are going to learn about web application vulnerabilities. Let's start from task 1. Within this room we will look at OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities in web application. You will find these in all types of web application, but for today we will be looking at OWASP own creation, that is juice shop. We will however cover the following topic which we recommend you take a look at as you progress through this room. In this room you will learn about injection, broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, broken access control, cross-site scripting. Okay, deploy the VMware. As you see, VMware is also running, and once the machine has been loaded, access it by copying and pasting its IP address into your browser. I am going to copy the IP address of this target machine, move to my browser window, and if I paste the IP address here and hit enter, students, you can see the front look of this vulnerable web application is present here. You can see login page is present here, search bar is present here, and I can also change the language. And if I move to left side, customer feedback form is present, and other information about this website is present. Let's go to an adventure in task 2. Before we get into actual hacking part, it's good to have a look around in burp. Set the intercept mode to off and then browse around the site. Students, in this task we are using burp suite, and right now I'm going to put the burp suite intercept in off mode. Its intercept is off, and I'm going to look around different page of website. Basically, this is called walking through the application, which is also known as which is also a form of reconnaissance. Some reviews are present here. Let's move to the question. The question is that what is the administrator email address? Okay, I have to find the administrator email address. If I click on the apple juice, and I'm going to check the review. One review is present here, admin juice. I think this is the admin email. Okay, if I check this one, here 0 review is present. If I check banana juice, and one review is also present here, and it's about vendor. Okay, the admin email address is this one. I'm going to copy it here, and you can paste into the answer section as I have done already. Okay, I'm open the mousepad and paste the email address here. I can use it in my next task. Okay, the question number 2 is that what parameter is used for searching? Students, if I move to the search bar, and if I typed anything here in order to find it, if I type here apple and hit enter, now in URL you can see basically here the Q is the parameter that is used in order to find different values. If I type here anything else, if I type A, you can check Q is the parameter and the value is A that is passed to this parameter. So the answer of this question is Q. Q is the parameter that is used for searching. Let's move to the question number 3. What show does Jim reference in his review? It's time to know about the Jim review. Jim did a review on the green smoothie product. Okay, in search bar if I type here green smoothie, and hit enter. Now if I check the review of this juice, you can see Jim email address is present here and fresh out of a replicator. If we Google replicator, we will get the result indicating that it is from a TV show called Star Trek. Okay. Now if I check about replicator, I'm going to copy it here, move to my browser and put the replicator here and enter. You can see a replicator. In a Star Trek, a replicator is a machine that can create things. So the answer of this question is starter. Let's move to the task 3, inject the juice. This task will be focusing on injection vulnerabilities. Injection vulnerabilities are quite dangerous to a company as they can potentially cause downtime and or loss of data. Okay, there are many types of injection attacks. Some of them are as SQL injection, command injection, email injection. Guys, there are a lot of injection. You can Google in order to learn about all of these injections. The question 1 is that log into the administrator account. After we navigate to the login page, enter some data into the email and password field and intercept should be on. Okay, if I move to the login page, I'm going to the login page and now I typed here anything. I typed here A in email address and A in password and in bulk field I'm going to intercept is on, and now if I hit enter, my request is captured here. If I forward, and you can see this is my login request. Email address is A and password is A. We will now change A next to the email. Students, I am going to use this payload. As you know, this is not a valid email. A is not a valid email. Now I am going to use this payload with A and forward it to the server. I am going to copy it here and paste it here. You can see I'm successfully paste the payload here, and now if I forward it and move to my browser, you can see I'm successfully logged into the administrator account. This is the administrator account, admin account. Basically, the character single quote will close the brackets in SQL query, or in SQL statement will return true if either side of it is true, as 1 is always equal to 1. Basically, in this payload, when I put this in payload, that is or 1 equal to 1, it means this is a true condition. Either it's check A or it's check 1 equal to 1, as this condition is true and I am successfully logged into this admin account. Guys, you can see I'm successfully find my first flag, that is login admin. You can copy it here and paste to the answer. Let's move to the question 2. Log into the vendor account. Similar to what we did in question 1, we will now log into the vendor account. Capture the login request again, but this time we will put this. I'm going to use this in email ID. I'm going to copy it here. Now, okay, I'm going to open another tab. Copy the email address, paste it here. Copy the IP address and paste it here. Okay. Students, I am going to log out from the admin account, and now I have to log into the vendor account by using this email. I am going to copy this email from here, move to the login page and paste the email address here. You can see I'm using hyphen hyphen and single quote and then hyphen hyphen. And in place of password, I typed A, and I'm going to intercept mode is on and login. My request is captured here. You can see. Now I'm going to forward it and check. Guys, you can see I'm successfully logged into the vendor account. How this is possible? As you know, I use single quote and hyphen hyphen payload. Okay, now forward that to the server, but why don't we put 1 equal to 1? Well, as the email address is valid, which will return true, we don't need to force it to true. This was thus we are able to use hyphen hyphen to bypass the login system. Note that 1 equal to 1 can be used when the email or username is not known. Okay guys, in first question I use this payload. This payload will be used when we don't know about the email ID. But if you guys know about email ID, then you can use this payload, single quote and hyphen hyphen instead of this one. Okay, I'm successfully logged into the vendor account, and if I refresh it, okay, guys, you can see here when I log into the vendor account, a flag is present here that is actually for vendor account. You can paste in answer section. Let's move to the task 4. Who broke my lock? In this task, we look at exploiting authentication through different flaws. Basically, it's time to exploit authentication through different flaws. When talking about flaws within authentication, we include mechanisms that are vulnerable to manipulate these mechanisms listed below. Okay, some of the weak authentication mechanisms are present here. Weak password in high privilege account, forgotten password page, more information or broken authentication. You can check here from this link. Okay, let's move to the question 1. Brute force the administrator account password. It's time to actually brute force the administrator account password. We have to use SQL injection to log into the administrator account, but we still don't know the password. Okay guys, I'm going to my browser and log out from vendor account. Now again I'm going to login page, and here I type admin email. I'm going to copy it from here and paste it. Intercept is on, and now in place of password I type anything. Right now I typed A and login. Click on login, and from here I'm captured my request. You can check, this is my login request. I'm going to send into the intruder. Okay students, now I'm going to right click and send to the intruder. Let's move to the intruder, and here you can see my target host is present here, and in position you can see that these are the values that are actually I'm going for brute force. But right now, first of all, I'm going to clear all, and I have only add password. Actually I'm going to find the password for this admin user, so I'm select the password and click on add. Okay, go to the position and then select the clear button. In password field, place to this sample inside the port. Okay, I'm going to remove the A and just put the sample. To clarify, this sign is not to separate input, but rather verb implementation of quotation, that is this one. Okay, now my request is looks like something. This one, for the payload we will be using a best sec list. I'm going to use the sec list in order to brute force the password. If I Google, and here you can see a random password list is present here. I'm going to click on raw, select all, control C, and now if I create a file by using nano editor, I type here nano, and I type here list.txt, hit enter, control V in order to paste all password here, control O, control X, and now if I check list, you can see all the passwords are present here. Okay, friends, now I'll move to the payload, and I'm going to click on load option, and now here you can see a list text is present here in which all the random password are present. I'm open it, and you can see right now I'm using the sniper attack. Okay, now I will click on start tag and click on OK. You can see sniper attack is start, and total these requests will be fulfilled 1049. It will take a lot of time, as you guys, I have already fetched the password. It will be admin123. I did this task before and I find the password admin123. Okay, once the file is loaded into the burp, start the tag, you will want to filter for the request status. A failed request will receive 401. Okay, students, here you can see all these requests are failed. You can see request and response is here. This request, response. Whereas a successful request will return 200. Okay, guys, when a successful request will receive, here the status code will be 201. Right now you can see I did not get any 201 status. All these requests are failed. Okay, once complete, log into the account with the password. Guys, it will take a lot of time, but due to the shortage of the time, I'm going to log into this admin page. I told you already, I have find the admin password is this one by this method. Okay, I move to the browser, and now in place of password, if I type admin, if I type admin123, and in burp suite, I'm going to on my I keep the proxy intercept is on. Now I'm click on login, and in burp suite I'm going to capture my request by clicking on forward, forward, forward. Okay, you can see I'm successful log into the admin page, and if I refresh it, if I forward, you can see I'm successfully find a flag. You can copy it from here and paste to the answer section. This is the flag for admin account after login. Okay, and now let's move to the question number 2. Reset gym password. Now it's time to reset the gym password. Believe it or not, the reset password mechanism can also be exploited. You can exploit the reset mechanism of password. When inputted into the email field into the forgot password page, Jim's security question is set your eldest sibling middle name. Okay, guys, if I Google about Jim, I'm going to my browser window and paste it here. All the details about this guy is present on Google. You can see full name, title, position, affiliation, spouse, and if I try to find its family details, you can see all the its family details is present here. Its father name, mother name, its brother, and the rest of other details is present here. Okay, looks like his brother middle name is this one. Guys, you can see its brother full name is this one. This is full name of its brother, but the middle name of its brother is this one. Okay, now I'm going to the logout. Now it's time to reset the password for Jim. Okay. I'm going to the email address of Jim, that is this one. I move to the login page and then email address is this one, and if I type here forget password, if I click on forget password, reset forget window is appeared in front of me. I'm going to on the intercept, and now if I paste the email ID of Jim and the security question, okay, you can see here your eldest sibling middle name. So his eldest sibling middle name is this one. I am going to copy it from here and paste it here, and then new password. If I type anything, okay, intercept should be on in order to capture the request. Contain at least 6 characters. Okay. I'm click on change. Now if I forward my request, okay, some error is occurred. If I click on change password and from Verb Suite, I am going to forward my request. What is this? Should at least contain one local. Okay, now if I forward my request and You can see the password was successfully changed. Now if I refresh my window, and you can see I'm successfully find the flag for gym reset password. You can copy and paste to the answer section. This is actual way. In this way you can uh, reset the bypass mechanism, and it can be exploited. Let's move to the task 5. Okay, if I check the task 5, a web application should store and transmit sensitive data safely and securely, but in some cases the developer may not correctly protect their sensitive data, making it vulnerable. Most of the time, data protection is not applied consistently across the web application, making certain pages accessible to the public. Okay, other times information is leaked to the public without the knowledge of the developer, making the web application vulnerable to the attack. More information to you can check sensitive data exposure. Okay, access the confidential document. Navigate to the About Us page and hover over the checkout or terms of use. Okay guys, if I move to About Us and then if I move to the About Us, and here you can see check out boring terms or boring terms of use. If you are interested, you can see some files are present here that I actually can download. You will see that it's a link this page. Navigate to the FTP directory, reveal that it is exposed to the public. Okay guys, if I click on this link and try to open into a new window, you can see if I open it in my mouse pad, and it shows me some legal information. And now if I navigate to this URL, I'm going to copy and paste this URL here and hit enter. I'm going to capture my request in Bubsuite, and okay, if I move to the FTP and hit enter, you can check some stuff is present here, and we will download the download this file and save it. It looks like that there are other files of interest here as well. Right now I'm going to save this one, and now if I check it, after downloading it, navigate to the home page to receive the flag. Now if I navigate to my home page, you can see I have successfully solved the challenge confidential document, access a confidential document, and this is the flag for this document. I can copy and paste to the answer section. Okay, log into the MagSafe search account. After watching the video, there are certain parts of the song that are stand out. Guys, you can play this video in order to find the answer of this question. He notes that his password is Mr. Noodles, but he has replaced some vowels into 0. Okay, now I'm going to log into the MC Safe Search Juice account. I'm going to copy its email ID, and if I move to my login page, okay, I'm going to log in and paste the email ID here, and password should be this one. I'm going to copy it from here and paste to the answer, and verb intercept should be on. I'm click on login. Okay, I'm forward this request, and if I move to my browser, I'm successfully logged into this account. Okay, guys, here you can see you have successfully find the flag for. If I refresh my page and if I forward, I'm forward my request in order to capture my flag. Okay, let's move to the question number 3. Download the backup file. I'm going to this URL. Copy this. Move to my browser. Paste it here. And hit enter. We will now go back to the this URL folder and try to download the package.json.bake. I have to download this file. You can see an error is occurred, that is only these files are allowed, PDF and .md. I am not able to download the .bak file. But it seems we are met with a 403 which says that only .md and .pdf file can be downloaded. To get around this, we will use a character bypass called poison null byte. Now guys, it's time to use poison null byte in order to download .bak file. I'm use this. I'm going to copy it from here, and now if I paste and then .md and hit enter, now you can see I'm able to download this file as well. I'm going to save it into my machine. A poison null byte is actually a null pointer. Guys, basically you can Google about a poison null byte in order to find detailed information. It's a null terminator. By placing a null character in the string at certain bytes, the search will tell the server to terminate at that point, nulling the rest of string. Okay. You have successfully solved a challenge error handling with this one. You can copy it from here and paste to the answer section. You can see when I download this file, the flag I received after use the null terminator is this one. So guys, you can use null poison terminator in order to download the restricted file. Okay, let's move to the task 6. Modern day system will allow for multiple users to have access to different pages. Administrators most commonly use an administration page. Here you can see administration page to edit, add and remove different elements of a website. You might use these when you are building a website with programs such as Weebly or Wix. Okay, there are two types of broken access control. One is horizontal privilege escalation and vertical. Guys, you can Google about in order to detail learning about this. Right now, I'm not going to go through all this theory. Access the administration page. I have to access the administration page. As you know, administrator will use administration page in order to edit, delete and remove some elements of web page. So first we are going to the debugger on Firefox. If I move to my browser and I'm going to off the intruder. No need it now. Okay, I have to move to the web developer and then I'm going to click on debugger. This can be done by navigating into the web developers menu. We are then going to refresh the page and look for the JavaScript. Guys, I have to find this JavaScript file. Here you can see when I click on debugger. Okay, I should move to the initial page. Now if I move to the web developer, debugger, and here you can see a JavaScript file that main-es2015 is present. If I click on this double square brackets, you can see code is present here. Okay, to get into this format, we can read by click on this bracket. Now search for admin. Okay, if I type here Control F and then I type here admin and hit enter. By using this file and click on this icon. Okay, on this line you can administration page is present here. This hint towards a page called administration, as can be seen by about path a couple lines below, but going there while not logged in does not work. As this is an administration page, it makes sense that we need to be in admin account in order to view. Guys, basically an administration page is present here. You can check. Okay. Our administration page is present here. A good way to stop user from accessing this is to only load parts of the application that need to be used by them. This stops sensitive information such as admin page from being leaked or viewed. Now I'm able to go through this administration page. If I'm going to copy from here and paste this into okay, let's first of all I'm going to log into and then I'm going to log into my admin page. First I'm going to copy email ID, paste it here. Password is admin123 and login. Now in place of search, if I type here administration, In this way you can actually find the administration flag. Okay. Okay, finally I got the administration flag. You can see, copy and paste to the answer section. Okay, view another user shopping basket. Log into the admin account and click on your basket. Make sure Burb is running. Okay, I already logged into the admin account and I'm going to on Burb Suite. Burb Suite intercept should be on in order to capture this request. Okay, click on your basket. I'm going to click on my basket. And forward each request until you see this one. Okay, I'm going to forward each request. Okay, finally I get the this request, that is reset basket /1 http 1.1. Okay, now we are going to change the number 1 after basket to 2. Here you can see, after slash I'm going to change from number 1 to number 2. It will now show you the basket of user ID 2. You can do this for other ID as well. By after changing number from 1 to 2, now if I forward my request and move to my browser window,
to the bathroom sinking. Your steps keep me awake. Don't cut me down, throw me out, leave me here to waste. I once was a man.
Okay guys, here you can see this is the flag for user ID 2 basket 2 user. I can copy and paste to the answer section. You can change other user request as well by using put 3, 4 or 5 as well. In Burb Suite, if you open the intercept mode on, and again if I copy my your basket request and again I am going to basket request, okay, here you can put 3, and now if I forward my request and here you can see all the result is present for basket number 3. Okay, let's move to the question 3. Remove all 5-star reviews. Okay guys, if I move to this URL that is related to the administration, I'm going to copy this URL and paste it here and hit enter. You can see some feedback pages are present here, and I have to remove all 5-star reviews. Okay, here 4-star reviews are present. All these are 4-star. And if I navigate to my next page, okay, Right now, no 5-star reviews are present here, but guys, when you delete here from 5-star reviews, definitely you will find the flag for this question. Okay, let's move to the task 7. Where did that come from? Okay, XSS or cross-site scripting is a vulnerability that allows an attacker to run JavaScript in web application. It's time for XSS to exploit XSS vulnerabilities. There are one of most found bugs in web applications. There are three type of XSS attacks: DOM, paste, and persistent and reflected. Guys, you can Google in order to find all details about these vulnerabilities. Here you can see a link is present here. You can also check this one. Perform a DOM-based XSS. We will be using the iframe element with a JavaScript alert tag. I am going to use this JavaScript alert tag. I am going to copy it here and move to my browser. Right now, I am going to log out from admin, and in search bar, if I put this JavaScript alert tag, and intercept should be on. Inputting this into the search bar will trigger the alert. Okay, I think there is no need to the intercept. I'm going to turn it off, and in search bar when I type this and hit enter, guys, you can see a pop-up is appeared here, that is XSS. It means this page is vulnerable to DOM-based XSS. Note that we are using iframe, which is a common HTML element found in many applications. There are others which we which will also produce the same result. This type of XSS is also called cross-frame scripting. Is one of the most common forms of detecting XSS web application. Okay, why does this work? It is a common practice that the search bar will send a request to the server in which it will send back to related information. But this is where the flaws lies. Without correct input sanitization, students, without correct input sanitization, we are able to perform an XSS attack in search bar. Guys, basically you can use this JavaScript malicious code in search bar in order to find the flag. Okay, you can see I have successfully found the flag for DOM-based XSS. Okay, now perform the persistent XSS. First, log into the admin account. Okay, guys, I'm going to log into the admin account. I'm moved to the login page, and here I should type the admin email ID, that is this one. I'm paste it here, and password is admin123 and hit enter. Now I am present into the admin page. We are going to navigate to the last login IP. Now here you can see in privacy and security, last login IP is present here. You can see last login IP is this one. It should say that last login IP is this one. As it is logged that last login IP, we will now log out so that it logs the new IP. Intercept should be on. Now guys, I'm going to on my intercept, and I'm going to log out from this user. Okay, if I move to the header section, make sure that the intercept is on so it will catch out the logout request. This is my logout request. I move to the header tab, and we will then add over to the header tab where we will add a new header, this one, true IP client. I'm going to copy this header, and by click on add, I paste this here, and in value I place this JavaScript malicious payload. I'm going to copy it from here and paste it here. Then forward the request to the server when signing back to the admin account and navigate to the last login. Now again I'm going to raw and forward my request. When signing back into the admin account and navigate to the last login IP, we will see XSS alert. Okay, students, now again I'm going to log into my admin account by using detail of admin. Okay, and hit enter. Guys, you can see you have successfully solved a HTTP XSS header. Okay, now if I move to last login IP, you can see I have received a pop-up, XSS pop-up, and I have successfully found the flag for header XSS. In this way, you can exploit, you can perform persistent XSS. Perform reflect XSS. First, we are going to need to be right page of perform reflect XSS. Log into the admin account and navigate to the order history. Okay, I move to the order history. From there, you will see a truck icon. Click on that. We will bring to that result page. When I click on this truck icon, here you can see I move to this page. We will use iframe XSS in the place order. Now if I copy this one from here, I'm going to copy this one, and in ID place I will paste this one that I copy from here. And now if I hit enter, okay, truck result ID, if I move to history and click on this truck icon, now if I hit enter, after submitting the URL, refresh the page, you will get an XSS alert. Now if I refresh my page, guys, you can see I received an XSS alert. It means this page is vulnerable to reflect XSS. The flag for reflect XSS is present here. The server will have a lookup table or database depending on the type of server for each tracking ID. As the ID parameter is not sanitized before it is sent to the server, we are able to perform the XSS attack. Guys, basically the ID parameter is not sanitized. When I put this JavaScript malicious code in place of ID order, then I am successfully able to perform this XSS vulnerabilities. Okay, let's move to the task 8. If you wish to track some of the harder challenge that were not covered within this room, guys, you can actually check this page. Here you can see all your completed result. Okay. And hit enter. You can see scoreboard result is present here, and finally I have received my final result, that is this one. You can copy and paste to the answer section. So guys, this is all about today my lecture. In this lecture, I hope you learn all about and you learn a lot of web application vulnerabilities. In my lecture, you learn about injection, broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, and cross-site scripting, different types of cross-site scripting, how you can actually perform DOM-based cross-site scripting, persistent cross-site scripting, and the rest of other types of vulnerabilities that you can actually perform in a web application. In this lecture, you also learn about different SQL injection payload, that is this one, single quote or hyphen, how you can actually bypass the login page by using this payload. You can also learn about how you can actually login bypass. If you know about the email ID, then you have to use this login page. So guys, this is all about my today lecture. Hope so you learn a lot in this lecture, and definitely you will practice about this vulnerable web application by your own. Tomorrow I will come to you with my new lecture. Till tomorrow, Allah Hafiz and take care.